Hi, my name is Princess.
And my name is Precious, and you're watching Divine Duo.
Hey guys, so in today's video, we are back with another nursing topic. And if you can tell by the title, you know what it is. Maybe you're about to head into orientation, or maybe you're in orientation right now and you just can't get the hang of it. If you want to know 8 things that we wish we knew before we went into nursing orientation, stay tuned. So you want to do the first one?
I'll do the first one. Okay, so the first one I want to say is not the top of the list, but just something you want to know is get a good understanding of what admissions and discharges are like in your hospital. When they tell you the steps of doing an admission or starting a nursing admission, write them down, okay? Because you're gonna have to do that most likely every single shift.
Yeah.
As well as a discharge. You might have to do that every single shift. So you really want to get a good understanding so that you're not fearful of having to do an admission or a discharge.
That's one thing I was gonna say. I remember I used to be not scared when an admission come, but I just dreaded doing admissions because a little part of me didn't know what to expect. If I'm making sure I do everything correctly, because it's gonna come back to you. If you miss something, your manager's gonna tell you. So I used to be a little nervous about admissions more than discharge because it's a lot of paperwork that comes with it.
Yeah.
But just understand that don't take admissions lightly. I get what you mean.
Don't take it lightly. You're gonna have to see it every day, so get comfortable with it now. Okay? So that's rule number 1.
Okay, so for number 2, I'm gonna say understand that patient load increases. Now, hear me out. What I mean by that. When I started orientation, I thought I was just gonna be following the nurse. I didn't know that I was really going to be responsible for patients. It came one week and it's just Princess, you have 1 patient. Okay, now you have 2 patients. Now you have 3, 4, 5, and it might not go in order. You're gonna end up, the goal is to make sure that you can handle the amount of patients that you're supposed to have or that your preceptor has.
We call it full assignment.
Yeah, so that you can, cover a full assignment. So don't think that you're just gonna be following this nurse around or whatever, just watching what she's doing for the whole orientation. No, at some point in time, be prepared to take 1 patient. And once you get 1 patient, be prepared to take 3 because you don't know what the next week they're gonna give you.
Yeah.
Of course, your preceptor is there for you, but technically that's supposed to be your patient. She's gonna look through your documentation and all of that, but still, that's your patient.
It's yours.
So treat it like it's your patient.
Right. Okay, so number 3, I said this a little bit earlier, but write everything down.
Oh my gosh.
When they teach you new things, you need to come in with a little paper, white paper, and be prepared to write all these rules down. So you don't want to have to keep asking the question over and over again because that means it's not sticking. The point of orientation is for you to be prepared to be on your own.
Yeah.
So when they teach you these things, whether it's doing admission, discharges, how to order new medications, how to putting a nursing order, whatnot, when they teach you these things, write it down.
Yeah, because you gonna think that, okay, that's easy to remember. No, the amount of things that you're having to keep in your brain
so much
for the whole 12 weeks or how many weeks you get, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a whole lot. So if you think you're gonna remember it just by them telling you once, please write it down, okay? And then bring that same paper with you back to work because you can just, it's like a reference sheet for you.
Yeah. Okay. So for number 4, I'm gonna let you know the importance of new orders because that really caught me off guard. The nurse, my preceptor, she knew all that she knew because she paid attention to what was going to happen next to the patient or what the doctor said next or what the doctor plans on doing next. And those are all revealed in new orders that you have to acknowledge. You have to acknowledge them. I remember my preceptor would give report and I'm like, how does she know all of that happened to the patient today? What am I missing? Because I didn't see when the doctor said that. When was this? And I'm realizing that, throughout the system, whatever you use, Epic or Meditech, whatever the doctor tells you, they put in new orders.
They might not even call you and tell you, oh, this person's gonna have an ultrasound today, or whatever they might have.
They put in the order. Exactly. So you gotta pay attention to new orders, because that's how you know to keep up with the patient. That's how you know, like, let's say for example, if they're going for like some type of GI procedure, you know that there was an order put in for what, go lightly or something like that. You're already ahead of the game.
Yeah.
So that you know that when you're meeting the night crew, you know to tell them after midnight, NPO, whatever. You know what I mean? That's just an example.
Yeah.
But it's good to keep up on your orders, especially the orders. Yes, with the new orders, all of that. Just
Watch it like
looking for that.
Yeah, right.
It tells you what direction the patient is going in.
Okay, so this is rule number 5. Don't be afraid to ask questions. I know you're new. You feel like you don't know anybody. You don't want to look like a newbie, but you're a newbie at the end of the day. Act like such. If somebody's saying orders to you, or someone calls you from a different area of the hospital and they're telling you things, you need to tell them to slow down. If they're talking quickly, it's because they're used to talking fast. Most nurses that are experienced, they're used to hearing orders and things thrown to them quickly. You're not, and they don't know that unless you tell them. So you need to tell them, please slow down. Even if you have to say, listen, I'm new to this, I'm preceptive, please slow down, can I hear that again? You know what I mean?
And piggybacking on ask questions, when you answer a phone, ask who you're speaking to.
Oh, big one.
Like literally, that just piggybacks on hers, but ask who you're speaking to. There's so many times I would hang up the phone. Yeah, but who told you that?
What?
Like, I'm not the secretary. Okay,
know
the phone.
Know the name and know the department. You need to know who you're speaking to at all times, okay? Because you always want to work as if you're saving your own
butt and license.
Yes. So always know who told you what and what department they're from.
Even if it's a family member, like you want to know that name because you want to check and see if their name is a proxy or something. Because you can't give them no information unless their name is on the chart. Exactly.
That's right.
So ask questions.
Is what it is.
Number 6, and this really goes without saying, but you'll be surprised. Take your break. Like literally take your break, because especially as a preceptee, it's almost like you're being hit with a lot of things. And to the preceptor, they don't, even though they took their classes and they know that, you're a student, not a student, but like you're learning things.
Yeah.
They don't realize how much they're thrown to you at one time, because this is like second nature to them.
Yeah.
So I feel like you need to take a break from it all at some point in time in the day. Don't feel like, oh my God, I gotta do this, No. Take your break. And when I say take your break, don't go in the break room and then kiki with Miss Sally Sue that loves talking about work on break. Like, no. Get away from break in general. Watch YouTube. Watch this video. watch something that's
get away from work.
Watch something that's gonna take your mind off of it. Call somebody that's gonna take your mind off of everything. Like, you really need a break. Like, you don't want to hear nothing. If you don't take a break, you're not drinking water. If you're not drinking water, you're dehydrated. You're
not a good nurse at that point, because you're taking care of all these patients, but you're not taking care of yourself. My mind became a whole fog when I was on orientation, because I was not taking my break. I was not drinking my water, because I was just trying to keep up.
Yes.
Everything's about trying to keep up.
Yeah.
Make sure you're taking care of yourself before you take care of your patients.
I've been off orientation and I've seen other orientations come after me and they're literally bawling, crying. And I'm just like, I asked, did you take a break? No. 12 hours with no break? That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, so take your breaks. Okay, so this is something I had learned like throughout, my little orientation process, is have a little worksheet. I know everybody they have their little summaries. You're gonna have summaries on all your patients, but you're gonna wanna also have this sheet, this little worksheet that's on top of all your summaries, to give you a clear understanding of each assignment that you have. Because you don't know who's gonna pop up and say, oh, 18 bed 1 is a patient so and so. Your little worksheet is gonna leave it clear for you, so they know, okay, when they say 18 bed 1, who am I talking about?
Right.
Because they don't really use names sometimes in hospitals, they just use room numbers. So you're really gonna wanna have a good, clear understanding, and the best thing I can call it is a worksheet. A worksheet, I put little boxes, little charts, and I just put the room numbers, and I put what the plan is and why they're here.
Right.
Chief complaint, diagnosis, and what the plan is.
And then you could just jot down little things, like say you just remember something out of nowhere, like, oh my God, I didn't give him his med or whatever. You just write it right there. Boom, boom,
yep,
boom,
to do.
Right.
It's like a little quick to do.
And for me, I love crossing things out. So when I can cross something out, is wonderful. And then when you give a report, it kind of helps at the end because then you know what you did for the patient that day.
Yep. Anything new that they had done, you can go ahead and write that in that little worksheet. And then when you're making your new summary for the incoming nurses, you're going to quickly know what's new that you need to add on.
Yeah, that's a good one. Last but not least, there might be a bonus, but number 8 is to know if your preceptor is not for you. And honestly, I mean this from the bottom of my heart because I got lucky. I loved my preceptors, but when my preceptors were out and I had somebody else, like you could just tell when it's just not it. Like, and it's just, it can ruin your whole mood. It can slow you down. They think that they're the best and that they're like giving you all the tools that you need, but honestly and truly, you're probably drained. And not to say that they're not a good preceptor, but they're not for you. So just know if your preceptor is not for you, because your manager is going to want for you to have a preceptor that's conducive to your learning
process. Yeah,
exactly. And for you to get on the floor sooner. They want you on the floor. So why would they put you with somebody that's gonna slow you down? No.
Yeah.
Let them know.
Yeah.
And I never would ever advise anyone to just have one preceptor for your whole orientation. You never know. You might like somebody else's working style better than the next. So, and they might know more, not shortcuts, because we're not saying that you're doing, shortcut doesn't mean that like you're leaving anything out. It just means that you're doing things, you're
working smarter, not harder.
There we go.
Yeah. So preceptors are a big part of your orientation process. You need to make sure you have the right match. You need to make sure when to tell your manager that this is not a right fix for me.
Right. Exactly.
Whatever you put into orientation is what you're going to get out of it.
Yes.
Do not just go with the flow of things and wait for orientation to be over, because you will be just as trash as you was when you started orientation.
Right.
You need to
take
really
advantage of the moment.
Absolutely, every minute of it. Okay, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Little tips on what to do for orientation is fresh in our head, and we want to give it to y'all.
Right.
So if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit that like button.
And if you want to join the PMP party, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, y'all.
We'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye.